everyone. Welcome into Gamesthetic, episode 77. My name is Alex Light, and I'm back in the saddle after a couple weeks off. Shout out to both the boys here, holding down the fort, doing a phenomenal time. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. You guys did absolutely phenomenal. And also shout out to Keontae, who was on the last episode. Good time, little quiet. He knows this, not dogging him, little quiet, a lot of editing there for me, but it was still a good episode. Still enjoyed the past two episodes that you guys put on. Zach, John, how you boys feeling today? I appreciate the hell out of you guys. You guys did great.
I mean, I'm doing good, ready to go. I got my fix of games this week. This was really the first week, honestly, I felt the February release schedule.
Oh, yeah, because you had like Dynasty Warriors come out, and then you've been playing a lot of Lost Ark with it as well. What about you, John? How you feeling?
Feeling all right. Back on the couch this week.
More comfortable, right?
Yeah, I got more space to move around in.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
I still haven't felt the February release schedule because I've just been playing Lost Ark.
So, I mean, you felt it in that capacity, but that's about it.
As far as I'm aware, one game came out.
Okay, fair enough. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here today. Of course, Horizon Forbidden West. I picked that up. I've dumped about, I think, 14 hours is what I'm in so far. Having a good time there. More Lost Ark stuff. Got some Cyberpunk chat. Dynasty Warriors, of course, from Zach. It's gonna be a good time, good episode. So if you could, definitely subscribe to the channel. We definitely appreciate that. As well as check out our website, SparkE3.com. You can sign up for free and get lots of different like extra perks and stuff. And as well as you can also pay $5 a month and you get early access to our podcast episodes. Yes.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. We also have our merch here, SparkE3Shop.com, where we will also have a promo code launching the day this episode comes out for a Terrible Football Show promo code, ATFS, for 25% off, ranging from the 22nd to the 5th for the season 2 kickoff of a Terrible Football Show. Terrible Football Show merch will finally be on the website with our new logo that I will reveal that day, so make sure to go support that if you are a fan of the show. As well as, I mean, it works for the whole site, so just go pick up merch for anything. Go get the B, please. I did get some B merch.
Yes!
I did get some, I got it in. It looks great. It looks fantastic. Trust me, you got to get the B merch. You can also go check out our Discord, link down in the description below, as well as our socials like Gamesthetic Pod, as well as the other shows, AniMan Plus, Terrible Football Show, and talk about movies and stuff. I think I got it all. We good? I got it all.
Oh, I was just counting out because every week I'd go, I don't know if I hit everything. I think I forgot the Discord both times.
No,
the Discord seems to be forgotten across the board.
I think I hit him at the end because that was one where I was like, we'll hit it at the end. I know I threw it in at least 1 week.
I like John's kickoff for, I think, the first episode I was out, or it might have been last episode where, like, when you ran through everything and you're just like, I think I got everything. And John's like, well, if we didn't get it, we'll get it at the end.
I think he did that both weeks.
Yeah. I mean, which is the best way to look at it. Boys, what have you been up to this week? I know you got some Dynasty Warriors chat here in a little bit, Lost Ark. Anything else we've really been up to that we want to chat about?
I mean, I played a little of TFT. I mean, the new set's interesting. Main two things is the new Debonair and Heztex. And then a bunch of new augments. I mean, I didn't get a whole play a lot. I played like 2 rounds of Hyper Roll, so I didn't really get to mess with it all that much. But it seems interesting. Be curious to see what new builds come out of it. And apparently you and me, John, got an emote for hitting blue tier.
I logged in and I saw it, and we I saw all of our double up emotes that we got. I'm like, all right, well, I didn't know I was getting that. But
yeah, neither did I.
Well, meanwhile, for me, I did jump into Cyberpunk. The next gen patch did drop on Tuesday.
Yep.
Jumped into that. I only got through Act 1. So it does obviously look better and it runs very smooth. I haven't really had any thankfully I haven't had any crashes, which I still think is funny that you had 0 crashes and you were playing on Xbox One X, whatever. Meanwhile, I'm on my PS5 and I had multiple, including my favorite crash was literally during the credits, the game crashed. I thought that was the perfect way to end my playthrough. But yeah, I've only got through Act 1 right now. Game looks great, doing the performance mode and everything. It runs very well. There is still some glitches.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I saw people going on a friggin' tirade as soon as just because of different things. I was just like...
Nah, I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit, though. It's not, like, at least for me, it hasn't been as bad as other people. Like, I've only seen a couple glitches. Like, there was one where I just walked around a corner and a guy, an NPC was just at a food stand. He was, like, in the ground. Like you could only see his upper torso. Like everything else was in the ground.
That's wrong. That was not a glitch.
That's normal.
That food was just so fantastic. He literally went through the ground.
Yeah. I should have got some food, but I just went about my way. But I mean, like I said, it runs well. You know, they did add some extra stuff to the game, quality of life stuff that really should have been in the game to begin with. Like just the simple fact that you can now change your appearance, that you can change your hairstyle, which you know doesn't really matter at the end of the day since you never see yourself anyway. But you can change your hairstyle, put on makeup or whatever, do whatever you're gonna do. Now, one thing that I did think was pretty cool they added that I haven't actually went to go look at yet since I just got into Act 2 is like the ability to get other apartments. That is, you get that access first in Act 2. I thought that was actually pretty cool because that still feels like something that should have been in the game to begin with, at least in my opinion. But, especially since the whole, focus of the game is becoming a legend in Night City, getting all these eddies, getting fucking rich. And, as you do stuff, you do get a lot of fucking money and you can just save up. So it's just like, what do you have to spend this money on besides like just some new guns and clothes? Like, if you're going to be this legend of Night City, like go buy some new apartments or some shit.
I mean, why would you do that? You could buy tons of drugs and hoes in that game.
I mean, you can, yeah. They added an alternate appearance for Johnny Silverhand. Yeah, that was something. Yeah, they added that. Some new guns, a car you can get, crap like that. But one thing that they added that I thought was really funny that John also got a kick out, and so did a lot of people, is they added like some extra content for like the romance options. But the only one that was actually like really highlighted online is that Pan Am will send you lewds, which I thought was great because like I saw like a couple people tweet about. Like I saw like Mighty Keith, like he quote tweets like, "I'm going to play Cyberpunk again, leave me alone."
I mean, to be fair. It's the only article I clicked on that I read through about the Cyberpunk update.
I mean, and hearing about that just makes me think of just someone at CD Projekt Red going, how do we bring people back besides the next-gen console? We Witcher it. And just add tons of loops.
Yep. Just open your phone every once in a while. You'll see Pan Am about to get into the shower. And you respond, it's just like, oh, you're a dirty girl, aren't you?
That's worth another playthrough.
There you go. But I mean, it's running fine now. We'll see how I feel about some of the other quality of life stuff as I get access to it. But right now, my focus, of course, is on Horizon, which I will chat about here in a little bit. Some other things that we had for us to chat about. One little follow up from last week involving Uncharted. I know you guys chat about it just real briefly there. It was 44% last week, 39% this week, but it's got an 88% audience score, which I gotta say is very shocking to me. Because, like, it's one of those things that I thought this movie was going to be a fun movie to watch, but I felt like, as someone looking from the outside in that doesn't know a whole lot about Uncharted, right, is I felt like the Uncharted fans would probably hate this movie. Because to my understanding, like, they mashed 3 games into this movie. And I thought that
dang.
Like, because, like, there was a, like Sully, I think it's, no, Sully is one of the characters. Well,
yes.
Whatever, Drake's brother, Nathan Drake's brother.
Yeah.
He doesn't even appear in the first game. He's obviously mentioned that he's in this movie.
He literally doesn't appear until the 4th game.
Exactly.
He has mentions, but he literally doesn't appear.
Yeah, and he's already mentioned in this movie, this kickoff movie of this franchise, whatever, I guess. The whole plane thing, that takes place in the 3rd game. Yep. So it's just like, I thought Uncharted fans, for example, would really hate this movie. But 88 audience score, I mean, I did think it would be a fun movie if you just go in and turn your brain off. But I don't know. I mean, but 39% for the critics. But I don't know. I'll see it eventually just to see if it is a fun ride like I think it's going to be. But
I mean, it seems like it. From everything I've seen, it just seems like a fun ride.
Yeah.
I never really committed it to being any type of staying consistent with the original content, to be honest.
Right. Now, one thing that we did get out of this week that got me immensely hyped up was the confirmation of Sonic the Movie 3.
Oh my God, he's still on the Sonic.
Hell yeah, I am, man. Sonic the Movie 3, let's go.
I wasn't surprised by this for the fact that we haven't even gotten Sonic 2 out in theaters yet, and they already announced Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I was like, God dang it.
And it was like such like a low-key announcement, too. It was just like in a just a tweet from I think it was from Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter, just from the president of Sega. So yeah, we are actively working on Sonic Movie 3 as well as a Paramount Plus series starring Knuckles. And I'm like, bro, we live in the best timeline right now. Yeah, we do. We live in the best timeline.
Not until I see Kirby live action.
All right, I respect that.
I don't.
He is going to swallow everything.
He doesn't want to see mouthful mode in live action. I want to see mouthful mode in live action, let me tell you.
I don't even know if I want to see a 3rd Sonic movie come out.
Hey, I'm pumped.
If we
Let's
keep
go.
this up, John, we may get a Nintendo verse.
Yes.
So then we have Detective Pikachu, Freaking.
Well, that's dead apparently.
Oh, is it? That's a shame.
Yeah, which just to tell you about that, it's so random to me because like the news just like low key popped out recently where I was like, oh yeah, Detective Pikachu 2 was something that they were starting and then they just canceled it.
Oof.
And that was it. It's like it just came out of nowhere, like as if they made it out to be a big deal, and everyone's like, whoa, hold on, what? The first one was actually pretty good and made a lot of money. What are you doing? But yeah.
Okay, so scrap Detective Pikachu, but we have Sonic, get a Kirby film out. Then we got the Mario coming out.
Yeah.
I know
We can
I know
get-
where you're going.
we
and
can
I
get a
know-
Smash movie.
Let's go.
I knew where you're going immediately.
Or at least Mario and Sonic in the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
I don't like this conversation at all.
No, I am very excited for the third film because of the possibilities of what could come after it as well. Because basically, like the first movie, it's like pretty much just like Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Yeah.
Some elements from that, its own like origin story. This
Does
game
he save a bunch of animals at any point?
in the first movie, no.
Because that was literally a whole thing
Yeah,
mechanic.
it was the whole thing in the first game. I mean, the first one's just like your, just your origin story, whatever. This movie is gonna, take elements of the second and third game. So the third movie could potentially take elements from. My idea is, I think they'll.
Sonic 06?
Okay, now while I do think that could be a good movie, no.
Okay.
I think honestly what we'll see, because I saw a lot of people clamoring for like obviously Shadow #1. I saw some people say it's like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if like the end credits was just like a puddle, hyping up chaos, whatever. Which
Yeah.
that would also be cool. But I actually think it'll just be Metal Sonic personally. That's the route that I think.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that.
I think they'll go that, which is Sonic CD.
Have they introduced Amy at all?
No, which would be introduced in CD, so it'd be in 3. So I mean that's the direction I think they would go, is like basically take elements of Sonic and Knuckles game as well as like Sonic CD, and that would basically be the third movie, which then could help set us up for like the next trilogy, be like Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Heroes. That would be the next set of games.
Oh.
You guys trying to make 6 Sonic movies?
Yeah, I
over
am.
here.
Let's
Yes,
go.
he is. But I'm now curious, John, because with this, how well this has been going, what in that realm of games, Sega, Nintendo, what if it was a live action would you be actually sort of interested in?
I don't know. I'm hearing you guys talk about Sonic. I'm like, man, I don't know shit about Sonic because I never really played Sonic. And you guys he's talking about a puddle with chaos. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck any of that means.
Chaos is literally just a alien life form in a puddle of water that takes on a water form.
Yeah, that's all it is. And as he gets like each Chaos Emerald, he gets like a larger form. When he reaches perfect chaos, he's like a giant water dragon that
Think of
floods the
Cell, but he's just a puddle.
bingo, and he just like floods the city. And he's just a giant water dragon.
Okay.
Sonic Adventure was cool. But to answer your question though, my answer, I would love to actually see Metroid. I think that'd be super cool.
I didn't even bother asking you because I knew your answer.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool as live action.
I mean, Kirby would be entertaining to me, but the actual decent one would probably be Star Fox.
Star Fox would probably be my second pick.
See, Metroid and Star Fox would be good. You know what would be fun, though?
Captain Falcon.
Yeah,
I
F-Zero.
was going to say Yoshi.
Oh my god. He doesn't want to get Kirby mouthful mode, but he wants to get Yoshi.
I mean, he's not wrong. Yoshi would
mean-
actually be sort of interesting.
Yoshi would be a little more interesting.
and we have a possibility of that because of the Mario film coming out.
I mean, true.
I'm going for realistic here.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's realistic.
And if the Mario film does well, we have the possibility of Yoshi, Luigi, weird maybe princesses thing. It's a dumb how far this can go though if these are actually sort of decent.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Nintendo's going to try to rake in all the money that they can. So I would expect more movies. I mean, we already know Donkey Kong's in this movie, so the next movie will probably be a Donkey Kong starred movie.
It's just going to be King Kong the animation.
Or it's just they all go off together and just play like
And bake a
they,
cake.
they spend like a week and it's just the adventures of them playing different sports.
Well, I'm gonna cut this here because otherwise we need to rechange the title of this episode.
we're gonna be talking about movies and stuff here soon. Give us a couple more minutes. We're gonna have to change the layout and shit, and do the intro and everything. All right, let's hop over to the next thing. So Atlas opened up a teaser website for Soul Hackers, Devil Summoners, with a countdown that's ending on the 21st.
Well, here's the thing: it's not necessarily Devil Summoners itself. This is maybe solely a Soul Hackers game
itself. Fair.
And Atlas is doing some weird shit with this one again. And because they have a whole website that's literally just their little icon is just like acquiring data, and it has a link to a live stream that's apparently going to go down Monday evening, which I assume is going to be some reveal.
Yeah.
But so far, since the start activity of this site, every day they've been releasing a real fuzzy trailer with voice background showing off characters, which I assume is going to be the cast of the game. So I'm not entirely sure where this is going, other than just being very weird. Because though I know the Soul Hacker games, I unfortunately have not been able to get my hands on any of them because those came out before I really became a Shin Megami fan and really paid attention to the series.
Right.
So I know about them, and I would love to acquire a copy if I ever find it hunting. But
So if you have a copy that you don't want, give it to Zach.
if it's decently priced. So, I mean, I'd be down with it, so...
Yeah, the question is this going to be like a new game, or would it be like a remake or something, or a port? Obviously, I know nothing about the franchise. So.
Based on what I've been digging through and seeing what other people said who have actually played the games, it was possibly leaning more towards a actual new Soul Hacker game rather than a remake.
A lot of random old games getting new games here recently, or remakes or something. Kind of like some of the ones that were revealed in the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Like Live Alive, for example.
Or Kelowna.
Yeah, or what was it, like first mission?
First Mission.
Yeah, that's a random one.
Yeah, I forgot that was a series.
I think a lot of people did.
You know what we need a remake of? Ape Escape.
Oh my god. No. All right. Let's jump into the next one. I think it's funny how this got put on the script, because John's exact words where it's like, yeah, I'm down for making fun of EA. So EA put out like some comments here recently where like it was like an article where they basically partially blame the surprise Halo Infinite multiplayer launch as well as COVID for Battlefield 2042's like poor launch and its failure and everything, and then naturally, of course, afterwards they're denying these reports. But it's just like, bro, that's sad. That's pathetic at this point.
There's tons of screenshots on our internet of your literal statement you put out.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, this game is such a broken ass mess of a game that just really damages, this pretty notable franchise.
I mean, it's been a good franchise. I mean, yeah, there's been some rough patches, but there's never been anything as rough as 2042's been.
This is so wild to me with how, because like, even I'm not a Battlefield fan, but even leading up to this, like I remember Jimmy being on, and with you as well, John, and all of us kind of chatting about it. It's just like, yeah, this one looks cool, and I think it was me and you, John, were just like, oh yeah, we might be interested in playing this, and then now look at it.
Well, the other thing is the fact that he's tried to mention the surprise Halo multiplayer drop. It's like, dude, your numbers were already shit before that.
Yeah.
I was about to say, they had several weeks of out time before that even became a thing.
It's like people were just happier about the Halo because they got to leave Battlefield.
Oh, thank God, an escape.
To a shooter that was actually working properly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's all 2042 is just a giant broken glob right now. And it hasn't gotten better, like, at all.
Which is really rough, because even, like, Battlefield 5 had a rough take, and even Battlefield 1 had a rough take, but people still continue playing. That they suffered through it till all the patches came out. And
I still think it's funny, because I remember what John said about this, where they delayed Season 1 of 2042, and John's like, how do you delay Season 1? The game's out. But yeah, Season 1's delayed till the summer. Dude, EA's struggling.
Part of the reason why people suffered through like Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, like even though they had a little bit of a rough patch there, people stuck through it because I mean they didn't necessarily have that much to go back to.
Yeah.
It's like now with this one, it's like, okay, well you got two great games over here,
right, that
we can just go play instead of playing this broken mess. So I mean, kind of timing on their part. It's like screwing yourself over on your new game. But I mean, if anything, 2042 is a great promotion for Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1.
Here's the next gen. We prefer the old gen.
It's like that keyboard meme. It's like upgrade. Fuck, go back. I said go back. Oh. All right, so next little thing that we have coming out. Well, it's not. I mean, to me, I consider it kind of on the little side, but a lot of the internet, not so much. But like, all right, so Nintendo is set to shut down the Wii U and 3DS eShops, which is, I don't think, a surprise to anyone. But obviously, naturally, like everyone and their mother is now like up in a tizzy because I guess they're just now discovering that this is a thing. Like, you know, it happens. Like, this happens.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why anyone is surprised by this. Like, you guys have to realize, like, you know, when it comes to maintaining these servers, the money that they're getting from these two servers probably is nowhere near enough to maintain the servers anymore. The Wii U is like the biggest failure in Nintendo's console history. Like, and of course they're going to aim to shut shit down. But now I will say, while I'm bashing this, you know, getting mad about this, because it's like, this is going to happen, right? I do agree with one thing. One thing that Nintendo does not do well is give you the ability to play their old games.
That's the main point I was going to bring up.
Yes.
People are going to be mad about that because while they may not be making a lot of money from the 3DS shop or like even the Wii U shop, the fact that it's there means there's a lot of the older games that you can't get on the Switch.
Yep.
Like there's plenty of games like on the Nintendo eShop that are only available in 3DS shop that I would love to play. And if they bring them over to the Switch, I will buy it immediately.
Same.
I mean, how I look at it is, I mean, as you said, this is something that's not really surprising. It happens after a generation passes and people stop messing with it. Because, like, I periodically go to the 3DS shop throughout the past couple of years, and I mean, it really hasn't updated at all. So, for me, and I would suggest to other people, if there's something you actually care about that you would like to get off from 3DS, use this year to get it and be able to have it on your 3DS once these shops are gone.
It's actually less than a year, though, because like while they said you can like redeem stuff up until 2023, like the actual credit card functions, that stops in like March or April. I think it's April. And then
this year?
Yes,
Damn.
like that, actually beginning of May. Sorry, I know I said 3 different months, but it's like beginning of May. And then gift cards, I think that's going to cease in like August. So like it's actually less than a year. It's just like, you know, the 2023 thing is just like for downloadable stuff. But like also the other point about this, while yes, Nintendo does not do a great job in allowing you to necessarily play a lot of their old games. Like, you know, for people being very upset about this and trying to push back and trying to do the same thing they did with Sony when Sony tried to, you know, cancel or stop the PS Vita and the PS3 servers. They postponed that for like a year. I think those are still active now and set to be turned off probably this year or next year. Either way, the backlash worked. This shit's been here. That's the thing that just kind of irritates me about this whole situation. It's like, now that it's being taken away, now you're wanting to complain, even though it's literally been here the entire time. Like, you know, I understand the Wii U had a very poor launch, but like, you could have gotten it the entire time. It's been here the whole time. This virtual console has been here the whole time. Now, I'm not going to sit here and hard defend Nintendo on this because they do need to get this shit up, okay? They do need to give you options to get it, and I personally think they will. I really do. I really do think that once this is done, we will start to see something come up to the Switch in some capacity. But it's just like, the only thing that's blown me away about this week is everyone pretending like this is like some new thing. When it's like, okay, but hey, this has literally been here for like the past like 7 or 8 years. Like you've had access to this that you could have bought at any point. You know what I mean? And if you buy it, you got it. You know, you can still re-download. That's what they even said in the statements. Like for the foreseeable future, anything you buy, you can still download. So just download it and you're good. But I don't know. It's while I understand both sides is basically what I'm kind of getting at with this whole thing.
I mean, I'll play devil's advocate a little and say that it is a fuck thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of people who haven't bothered looking at that stuff, and this sort of brought to their eyes that, hey, we're losing this, and it's constantly a thing of anytime in the gaming community that something's getting taken away, that people are just like, what's there? Why are you taking away?
Yeah.
And everything. I mean, it doesn't change a whole lot for me. I can still find cheaper prices if I find a physical copy.
Well, I think part of it also is just the fact that like it's like some people were probably holding off on buying stuff on the 3DS shop.
Yeah.
At least in recent years, thinking, okay, maybe it's going to come to the Switch shop, but it hasn't. So now and they've been waiting on like some of these announcements because Nintendo is usually good about anything that's on their previous consoles, whether it be their shop or anything. It'll get moved over eventually.
Yeah.
But a lot of that hasn't happened yet. So I don't know. I could see it being frustrating for people being like, well, I want this game now. I guess I'll buy it on the 3DS shop. And then it's going to be real annoying if later, like a year from now, half of that stuff is on the Switch shop.
Yeah.
So it's like just a little.
You're taking a gamble.
It's
if
like
you want to buy it now.
a little thought there. It's like, yeah, because there's. I mean, hell, if I could find my 3DS, I might buy some stuff because there's some games that I do want to have that just haven't shown up on the Switch shop. So I might have to go back and buy them there.
And one, I will say one kick in the nuts about this whole thing as well is that when it comes to like some of the stuff in the 3DS shop or the Wii U Virtual Console, whatever, is there's a good handful of those games that I would anticipate probably being brought up at some point. You know what I mean? Like the notable stuff, like like any Mario stuff, Zelda stuff, whatever. What the real kick in the nuts is going to be is some of those other Nintendo IPs that don't get as much love. Those are the ones that are going to get left behind.
Yeah.
Or like some other, like not necessarily Nintendo IPs that are just fun games that you can buy that are also going to get left behind. Like one franchise that, I was always a fan of, shout out to Zach for picking up a game for me not long ago, is Mega Man Battle Network. Every single one of those games is on that virtual console. Like, for example, once this console's closed, you're not going to be able to get those anymore. You're going to have to get lucky and try to find the games. Like Zach found one for me.
I'm going to be honest. Battle networks are everywhere. I've literally found the entire series.
Well, there you go. So it's just there are those X amount of games that are just going to get completely left behind. Meanwhile, there are going to be others that obviously will probably get ported up at some point. But there is that handful that's going to get left behind. And that's what sucks about it. Because, that Virtual Console on the Wii U, dude, it is actually legit. There is so many great games.
I was about to say, that was, when I saw that was the one I was sort of more concerned about. The 3DS one, I was like, okay. It's been there. It hasn't been updated in years. For the most part, it's what it is. The Virtual Console was the one that I thought was the big hit because that does have a lot of, like, 2 or 3 generation games that haven't been ported up and may never get ported up.
Yeah, and with the direction of what they're doing with the Switch Online stuff, Virtual Console's done, obviously, unless they flip the script and they change their mind on it. But, with how they have the expansion pass thing set up, the Virtual Console is done, and it's just going to be whatever's going to come with the expansion pass now. Which, with the expansion pass is very interesting with how they are handling it because when it came to the Mario Kart DLC you guys chatted about, that's part of the expansion pass now, as well as the Animal Crossing one that we saw. So it's interesting what Nintendo's doing with their Switch Online service. They're still set to be like more, consoles added eventually, at least Game Boy. That's coming eventually. All right. For me personally, there's way too many credible sources that are saying, yes, this is happening. It's just a matter of when Nintendo wants to do it. Everything else though, I'm not, just like, hey, take it with a grain of salt, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully, I will say, the Wii U shop and the 3DS shop, hopefully when they're shut down, some of the ones that were exclusive to those consoles, at least like the digital purchase of them, hopefully those move up fairly soon. At least as just a purchase. It's like you don't got to do anything fancy, but just put the game on the Switch Online. It's like, or put it on the store. It's like, because if Nintendo's proven anything, their customers will buy the same games over and over again.
That's
so
a fact.
If you put it on the current version of the console, we'll buy it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. It does kind of baffle me that this is the 6th year in the Switch's lifespan, I think, 6th or 5th, and some of these aren't up. It does kind of baffle me because just like that's just so much money that
we
could
do got Labo.
We do have Labo. Hey, Labo sold okay. Selling you cardboard, but hey, whatever.
I don't think I've seen a Labo in a store in a couple years. You think you can even still buy it?
That's a great question. Let me look.
Probably.
You probably can,
somewhere.
But I'm just curious because I don't ever see it on shelves anymore, so it's definitely not a big push.
Yeah, it did have its run there where I saw it on shelves all the time, but you're right. I have not seen it in quite some time.
Give us a moment as we look up cardboard.
I found it on Amazon, $80, $30 for the drive kit. That's the Toy-Con Set 3, the vehicle drive kit.
I'm shocked by Zach's shocked expression. Did you forget it's Nintendo we're talking about? They're selling premium cardboard.
Oh, and here's on Amazon for $180 the Nintendo Labo Toy-Con Set 4, the VR kit. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Toy-Con Set 2, the robot kit.
How is it 2022 and we're still talking about Labo?
Because it's a joke that I can never let Nintendo live down. That they managed to sell cardboard to people.
I've said before, Nintendo can sell anything.
That's true.
It doesn't matter what it is. Their fan base is going to buy it. If you slap a Nintendo logo on it.
That's true. That's true.
Don't.
He's thinking about it. All right, we're moving on before he throws it out. All right, where do we want to jump to, boys? We got Dynasty Warriors, some more Lost Ark stuff, or Horizon?
I mean, I'll hit Dynasty Warriors first because that's probably going to be the easiest. I mean, it's a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah, it's Warriors.
I mean, it's an Empires version. I mean, we haven't got a Dynasty Warriors game in a couple years. We did get Samurai Warriors last year, which was a nice breath of air. Overall, I'm having fun with it, but the big thing with it is a Dynasty Warriors game. Like, half the world hates Dynasty Warriors for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. And even the portion of the fan base that like it hates one of the games for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Because the mechanics change and things like that. The weird thing about this one is they kept the open world thing in it, which I was hoping was going to be a little bit better, but Koei Tecmo still doesn't really know what to do with an open world. I mean, it's there. The scenery is somewhat nice, but compared to other games, it's not the greatest. It's probably like a generation down graphics-wise. I mean, some spots look really nice if you have a good TV and high graphics set. Mm-hmm. The main thing from this that I really got was that, at least for this series, is it brought back the standard Battlefield, sort of standard, a single Battlefield maps versus a 9, which was just all open world. They hard committed to open world. There was no set maps. You could run around everywhere, and like the battles felt. It felt like a battle, but it was very weird because you just slowly took camps over while you moved to a city you had to go conquer. It didn't really feel like you were part of a whole real big battle. This one you got soldiers running around and everything. And then just, of course, how I say Empires is, it's more or less fantasy hack and slash. You just build your favorite team of characters to go kill a bunch of other people and conquer China. It's enjoyable for fans of that game, just being able to team build and things like that. They actually really hit the political system real well in this one. Gave a bit more focus on it. Made it feel actually sort of important and actually good feel to it. Versus usually it's just, whatever, I'm going to just kill everybody. Overall, I'm enjoying the game. If you're a Dynasty Warriors fan, I'd say give it a try. I would not suggest getting the $100 version unless you're a maniac.
Unless you're a real diehard.
I mean, and if you're still unsure, there's literally a demo out there you can actually pick up and try it. See if you like the mechanics in this one and whatnot. But overall, I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying Empires. Only downsides is still not utilizing the open world very well. If you choose to be a free officer, you're sort of screwed on XP unless you want to go run around the open world. Creating your own characters has suffered a little bit. It's still fun, but it sort of sucks you can't easily acquire other people's created characters, because that was actually very fun to mess with other edited people's characters. And that's mainly it. So, I mean, it's an enjoyable game, though, if you're a fan of Dynasty games. So,
side note on that, because I never asked you, John, what's your hype level or interest level on Three Hopes?
Three Hopes?
Yeah, the Fire Emblem
Warriors game.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes closer, I'll be able to tell you a little more. I'm a little far separated from Three Houses at the moment, so I'll probably give that a play again sometime soon. And then after playing it again, I'll probably be more excited. But for now, I mean, it looks like a Warriors game with Fire Emblem characters.
Okay. My main thing about it is I'm just happy that that Three Houses cast, we get another chance to do something with them, even if it is in Warriors format, because I personally fully expect like the next new Fire Emblem just be like, obviously a whole new cast, a whole new game essentially, not any sort of continuation. So I'm glad to see this cast gets another chance.
My
to
only
do something.
slight concern with this is, excuse me.
You're welcome.
I I mean, it looks good. It's a Warriors game. I'll probably enjoy it just because it's a Warriors game. Actually, I take that back. The first Hyrule Warriors, I didn't enjoy too much. But I'm more than likely...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was all right. My big thing with the Warriors games is cast.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope there's going to be a few more playable characters than our 3 main house leads, which I assume is going to focus on them. Because even with that, it seemed like they were going to be the main 3 focus. It didn't even seem like Byleth was a playable character at the time during that trailer. I mean, it showed Byleth for a moment, but it only actually showed gameplay of our 3 house leaders, Edelgard, Spear Dude, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. Dimitri, and then
Claude. Yeah. Man, if the cast is my main concern as well, because my first question is like, are we gonna actually have the full cast here?
I don't think so.
I would assume not.
How many characters from each house are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the Ashen Wolves by chance? Are we gonna get other people from the monastery?
Well, here's the thing: it is an alternate timeline, so
Yeah.
we can't be for sure which characters are going to be around, because since it is an alternate timeline, some of the things that we know from playing 3 Houses and whatnot could have flipped the other way. So characters who lived could be dead now. Other characters could have never ended up in the area for whatever one reason or another.
Something else they could do is they have all the data for people playing through the game. Mm-hmm. They very well could just take like some of the top characters that everybody recruited during their playthroughs, or most used characters, and just slap them in there and be like, people will probably enjoy this.
That's true.
They liked playing them here. They'll probably like playing them in this Warriors type setting. But then again, it could be kind of like what you said, where they're like, some of the characters you like aren't going to be here. Play with these ones instead.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it more or less depends on whether they're going to want to focus on public thought of favorable characters, or if they're going to more focus on actually telling this alternate story and making characters work in it versus just throwing in, hey, we have this character everyone really liked here.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because I'm looking at like the full character list right now for 3 houses. It's
a massive list.
It is. I mean,
we could possibly actually see all the characters.
Yeah.
I just highly doubt all of them would ever be playable.
Yeah, and I could agree to that. So it's just narrowing down like who all would be playable. Yeah. Exactly. Because I mean, like there's 50 plus characters that I'm looking at between our 3 main houses, the DLC, the church characters, some of the main antagonists, and some of the main support characters. Yeah. So that's where it gets a little sketchy.
I mean, and again, from the little bit of focus we got, is it's going to be focused on the main 3 heads and their sort of weird possible combined faction.
Yeah. Out of all the house characters, I just ask, just give me a couple. Like, give me Lysithea, because she would be an absolute monster. Sylvain would be cool, as well as Petra.
I couldn't tell you because I haven't touched that series in 3 years. Because I barely remember any of their names. I think his name's Rufus.
Rufus. Did you do Golden Deer?
Yeah.
Then Raphael. Yeah. That'd be. I love Raphael. I would love him to be in the game.
Again, I haven't touched the game, so I barely remember any of their names at the moment.
I'm very fresh on the game right now. I haven't been playing it, but someone else has been playing it. So and they're hitting me up constantly, needing help or wanting or hyping something cool up because they're playing for the first time. So I'm very fresh on the game right now. But I'm excited for it, just like I said, because it just for the opportunity to have something with that cast again, in some capacity. Because I think like privately, like I think me and you, Zach, I think we talked about like, oh, would they ever do another Fire Emblem, like a sequel to 3 Houses? Yeah. It's like that'd be very tough because they have to really probably commit to one of those routes being canon.
Yeah, and I mean, I sort of like their take that they decided on is doing a alternate history.
Yeah, I think that would probably be for the best, considering again, you would have to hard commit to one of the 4 routes.
Yeah.
So, I'll hop over to Horizon Forbidden West. Like I said earlier, I've dumped about probably 13 hours into this so far. Having a very good time. The first thing that I will say that the game does, I think, very well, is that it introduces itself in a way where I feel like someone who has not played Zero Dawn could pick up this game and play it and enjoy it. That's one thing that I feel like it does pretty well. Kind of like kind of like my review on Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread did that very, 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 very well, where you could get Dread and be your first Metroid game and be able to play it and follow the story, because Nintendo knows that a lot of people didn't play the previous games, because this is Metroid Dread, I think, is the 5th Metroid game in that story. They know they didn't play the other 4. So that game sets itself up very well, where like anyone could pick it up and you know what's happening. Zero Dawn, Forbidden West does that as well. Not as well as Dread. It gives you like I don't remember how long, like a 3 to 5 minute like intro, like video narrated by Silence, where he just basically kind of goes through the plot of Zero Dawn for the most part. So that is very helpful for someone that has not played Zero Dawn and might have interest in Forbidden West because all the insane hype behind it right now. I would say between that and maybe just some quick YouTubing just to get a couple of aspects about the first game, and most notably like some characters like Ted Faro, like Elizabeth Sobek, more details on them, as well as like what Gaia is and all the sub functions. All that would probably be pretty handy info, and then you can jump into this game, right? And also with the like getting you like into the game for new players, like the tutorial is very good for that because of how they do it, where it's just like you're, Aloy, a very established, pretty intelligent character, very strong, whatever. But like the way that the tutorial sets up where it's teaching you how to play the game essentially is because she's teaching Varl about how to use the focus and everything, because Varl caught up to her or whatever, because it's 6 months past the first game. So she gives him a focus and is now teaching him how to use the focus and everything. So it's just like, you as the player are being taught by Aloy, like Aloy is currently teaching Varl. So that's the first thing that I want to say, is that it does a great job at introducing the game in that capacity. So if you have not played Zero Dawn, I say you could probably play this one. Other than that, gameplay, obviously very fluid, better than the previous game. One complaint that I still have that a lot of people had as one of their main complaints from the first game that is improved on is like the climbing aspect. Like, in the first game, it was very, very limited to like certain like yellow marks on the wall, whatever. And it was very limited on how much you could climb. It still has that sort of approach, unfortunately, where you can only climb at certain points, but it is a lot more than it was before.
Thanks for the grappling hook thing.
The pull caster is great. I do like that thing a lot. But again, that thing only works for certain areas, which again is a knock in my opinion. If they would have taken more of an approach like a Breath of the Wild where you could literally climb on anything, I think that would have been a lot better for the game, as probably a lot of people feel as well. And the pull caster, while it's like a really cool aspect that was introduced, it's very limited. You know what I mean? Like you have to find literally certain points to use it. And those points are not as common, in my opinion, as being able to climb on anything. You hit your focus and you can see like the yellow lines highlighting on mountains, all pretty much everywhere where you can kind of climb. Pull caster, not as much, but it is still fun to use. As well as the glider. The glider is fun to use as well. That's also another quality of life thing from the first game. Combat's a lot more detailed in my opinion, a lot more combos you can unlock, and that's another thing that they really revamped as well as the skill tree. The skill tree is massive. I mean, you have the 6 different areas that you can go through, and it goes down so far for how much you can really upgrade Aloy, including like special enhancements where it's like, I forgot how they called it in the game, but it's like a special ability essentially that you can only have one at a time, and there's like each set of skill tree has different ones that you can access, because you have like the infiltrator skill tree, like the machine master, the hunter, the warrior, whatever, right? And each one you can unlock different ones. So right now, the one that I'm using is one from the hunter tree, where it's like rapidly increases my ability to use the bow. Like, it sends off like when you activate like a little cutscene of where she'll like drink something or do this or do that. So like in my case, she puts on face paint. So for this ability, like, she does this thing where it's like all of a sudden she has like purple and black face paint, and I can now, use the bow unbelievably fast.
Alrighty.
So
What's in the face paint?
Do what?
So what's in the face paint?
See, that's what I'm wondering. But I mean, so that I do like that, or you can get like something to help you out in the fights, whatever. I'm currently playing on normal difficulty because I'm a bitch and I like to enjoy my games, but still have a challenge to it. And just like Zero Dawn, which I did mention a couple weeks back, where Josh gave up on the normal difficulty, he had to bring it down to easy. It still is difficult at normal, which is fun, and it does not make me want to go to a higher difficulty. That's for sure. Not until I get to a new game plus. Then I'll feel a little bit more confident, because I'm a bitch. Not the point though.
Well, then he's gonna play normal without being frustrated.
It is frustrating. Some of the new I feel like every time I get introduced to one of the new machines, they now become my new most hated machine. Like every time.
I mean, that's probably why it sort of lines them up.
Yeah, like and well, like and in terms of how I've encountered them, it's. I haven't necessarily gone like a perfect staircase sort of way where I keep getting like the bigger one each time. It's just like, all right, here's like a smaller one that's kind of annoying. And then it's like, here's a massive one that I run into. And then here's a little bit smaller one that really pisses me off because of how much so where I'm at right now. Okay. Cause I mentioned this to you guys before I started. So like right when I go to turn the game on again, I'm going to probably hate my life for probably about 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm doing a quest line, okay, but what I'm about to fight, I already happened to accidentally bump into earlier before I got the quest line. So like once I got the quest and I got into where I was going, I stopped and I'm like, fuck, I know where this is going. I know what I'm going to have to fight. I'm fighting some new giant machine called a rock breaker. And this thing is unbelievably massive and just burrows in the ground constantly. And it destroyed me in like 20 seconds when I accidentally bumped into it. I'm just minding my business, exploring the world. And then all of a sudden, this big thing, I get into this large, like almost like Coliseum-esque area, and all of a sudden music starts playing. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is that? And I just start seeing like just crawl on the ground and then just jumps into the ground. I'm like, oh, well, that's fucking terrifying. So I'm about to die, basically. That's cool. Fought a giant turtle. That thing took me about 25 minutes to kill. So that was cool.
See, this doesn't sound bad to me because this literally just sounds like my Shadow of the Colossus days.
That would probably be pretty accurate. They have like a new kangaroo one that really makes me mad too. Those are like small little ones, but they really make me mad because when I was fighting them in a cauldron, I found out that they have like a whip that they can throw at you and grab you and pull you towards them. I didn't know that was like thing when I first encountered them because I happened to kill them pretty quickly. But when it happened to me, it caught me off guard. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? They can pull me? But I mean, in terms of like the game itself, like the story is obviously still very interesting. Right when you jump into the game, you're in, I don't know what area you're in. It's just like the starting prologue area. I mean, you leave it once you're done, obviously. But like Aloy's main purpose, obviously, is trying to rebuild Gaia, the terraforming system that it can essentially save the world. And when you think you find it, it's a copy, essentially. It's not even a copy, it's a fake, is when you first find it. You get to return to Meridian very briefly, and then you're going to start to make your way out west because that is where Silence have went, that is where the threat has gone, whatever, right? And your whole purpose is trying to rebuild Gaia and, essentially save the world. Because she finds out that Hades is still alive. You find Hades very quickly, by the way, and actually kill Hades. So Hades is dead. Hades is not the problem in this game like he was in the first game.
Hey, John, you have any idea who that is?
It's one of the sub-functions.
I'm very confused.
I know you are.
Now.
I know you are. Hades is one of the sub-functions.
I'm thinking of God of War 3 fight.
He said Hades, and I thought the same thing, and now he said sub-function. I went, all right.
Okay, so
this is why people should at least look up some information because me and John are chilling here and going, I don't know what he's saying.
Me talking about this, I feel like I'm more talking to the listeners that are more like interested in Forbidden West because I know you guys have not played it.
I was just going to let him go, and I'm just going to picture him fighting a Greek god.
So with the sub-functions for the people listening or for you boys, so Gaia is the terraforming system, all right? And then there's all the different sub-functions that are named after gods. Like there's one called Poseidon, obviously Hades, and others.
That's right.
Yes. And each sub-function has a different purpose for basically rebuilding Earth, okay? Like Poseidon, obviously god of water, its whole purpose is purifying the water on the planet.
Don't you mean Poseidon?
Yes.
Why are you killing the sub-functions?
Okay.
If they're supposed to fix the planet. You're doing this very backwards.
Okay. The only sub-function that had to be killed was Hades because Hades went off the deep end.
As far as you know.
Yes. There's one that literally creates humans. I forgot what it was called.
You just set up the third game.
That one I think was in the first game. So where I'm at now, where it kind of really kicks off, I feel like the majority of the plot is that you have now found a essentially a seed of Gaia, an actual copy of Gaia, but this copy doesn't have all of its subfunctions. So you essentially need to rebuild Gaia and collect the different subfunction data files. So that is where I'm at in the game, where I have 3 different missions to go collect 3 different of the subfunctions that they were able to detect. There are a few that are detected, but but don't know where they are, and there's few that is completely off the grid.
So has it told you how many subfunctions there are?
I think that's addressed in the first game, but the number off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Is it the number that's usually in Olympus?
It probably is. That'd be my guess. I don't remember off the top of my head how many there were. But each serve their own purpose for essentially rebuilding the Earth. And then there's other plot points in the game where, obviously with how the game is set up in like this old sort of vibe to it with machines kind of running around, you do get to encounter a set of individuals that are very, very futuristic. Like they are very clearly like from the far future. Like they even talk about VR. They talk like normal people and like everyone else in the game, so there's a whole new dynamic there.
So they're present looking people, or they're people who are cyborgs?
Basically like cyborgs.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you do in Gaia kind of, takes a guess where they're from, because when you're in that first prologue area, you're going to Far Zenith is the area that it's called. And basically what you find out there is that there was there's a ship, the Odyssey, that was kind of like an Andromeda situation where they're going to another galaxy, another planet sort of vibe, and to Aloy's understanding, it didn't make it. It crashed before it even left planet Earth, right? But once you resurrect Gaia, essentially, which is just an AI, right? Gaia starts to kind of estimate that Odyssey did actually make it, and the people from Far Zenith set it up where it's like it made you think that it crashed, because Far Zenith and our characters that built everything with the Zero Dawn, they were not on good terms at all. Like Elizabeth Sobek and then everyone over at Far Zenith, they did not like each other in the slightest. So basically the people of Far Zenith, the ancestors or whatever, made it seem like their ship crashed and never made it. But in actuality, they did make it. And they're the ones who, from X amount of million light years away, set out the signal back over to Hades and the Zero Dawn Project, which basically set everything the way that it is, where life was eliminated 3 different times. So the plot thickens, essentially, including they have their own clone of Elizabeth Sobek, because that's obviously what Aloy is a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, but they also have their own clone.
Spoilers.
It's like 2 hours in the game. So
spoilers.
It's like 2 hours in the game. But all right. I'm not revealing in-game stuff.
When did you find out Aloy was apparently a clone in Zero Dawn?
Probably 75% in.
Spoilers.
But again, I mean, that's not a spoiler to me too much, because it's in the territory of that game came out in like 2017.
It just got released a couple months ago.
On PC. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass.
There are PC players who may not know.
Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass, man.
I'm one of those.
Yes.
Well, you see, you've talked about Zero.
I'm not going to play it.
Exactly. You've openly said that you're not going to play it. So, and at this point, like, if you don't know, it's your own fault at this point. It really is. I mean, there's other ways that you can find out the plot points about, like, watching playthroughs or YouTube videos or whatever. I mean, it's a thing, I mean, like, literally all the marketing is around this. Like, fuck you, Zach. But it is very fun. If you're a fan of like open world games, then this game is very overwhelming, because like when it comes to open world games, like Horizon for me always felt very overwhelming compared to others that I've played, because like right when you get kind of into the game and you start like unlocking basically the ways to unlock the further parts of the map. I was going to say what they were, but then you're just going to be like, what the fuck is that?
How's that going to be any different than the last 15 minutes?
Think of it. Oh, that's true. And whenever you access the tall necks, there you go. That's how you get the map.
A giraffe?
Yeah. They're just called tall necks.
Okay.
They're just gigantic giraffe machines that just walk in a circle in an area, and you get on the top of their head and you override them, and then you get the map.
Thank you, Assassin's Creed, for this bullshit.
I feel like that was a softball.
But like, once you get the map, like it literally just highlights almost everything. Like 10,000 fucking question marks all around the map. It's like unknown. This is an unknown location. You should go to it. It's like, Jesus Christ, there's so much to do. You see all the other tall necks. You'll get the rest of the map, plus all of like the cauldrons, which is what creates the machines. Essentially like just dungeons, essentially. It is very overwhelming, but in a good way of just how much there is to do. And I'm looking forward to exploring the rest of the map just because, obviously with this game, you do get to go to like the San Fran area, which is in the promotional art and everything. Apparently also you get to go to Vegas. So that's cool. Vegas is on the map.
Spoilers.
It's literally 2 hours in the game. Because it's one of the sub functions. Apparently Poseidon is currently in Vegas. It's literally in the mission dialogue. It's like, oh, it's in the ruins of Las Vegas. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool, I guess.
I mean, if you don't want Poseidon to do his job, I mean, that's a good spot to put him.
That's a damn good point. So, I mean, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, I'm 13 hours in. I literally feel like I haven't even. I'm maybe like 8% into the game, dude. I keep getting sidetracked. There's just so much shit to do, so much shit to explore, all the different unknown locations, and trying to level up to go do the cauldrons, because the cauldrons can be pretty difficult. I completed one earlier where I had to battle two. I forgot what their machine is called, but it's basically 2 hippos. Those things are very irritating. I'm not a fan of those at all.
Luckily, you weren't a vampire.
Fuck off. Oh God, that will still be one of the best jokes that we've ever had. And Josh was just gonna gloss over it, like it wasn't even a big deal. It's like, oh, it's like you're a vampire. It's like, oh well, I can't kill you. But anyway, then he ends up killing her. But she's a vampire. How do you kill her? It's like, well, you threw a hippo on top of her. It's like, what? It's like, how does that even make sense? But I mean, it is very fun so far. I'm very much enjoying it. I'm looking forward to hopping back into it later. Besides having to fight that rock breaker, that thing, it kicked my ass, because I did, after it killed me in like 20 seconds the first time. I did try to go to rematch it, and then it killed me again in 20 seconds, and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm done here.
I got a few words of advice for you. Just get good.
I'm working on it.
Man, he got so invested when I held my hand up.
I am working on it. I'm definitely working on it. But anyway, what about Lost Ark? Now you've jumped into it, because I think when you guys did last episode, you hadn't played it yet, right?
No, I was like 2 hours in.
Okay, so now you're getting deep into it. You're addicted to it. Like, you have a legitimate addiction. So
I don't know if I would say addiction.
I wouldn't say addiction either. He gets off and plays Rocket League for like an hour or two before getting back on.
Rocket League, his love-hate game.
I'd take a break from Lost Ark to play Rocket League and eat.
Okay, all right, and go to work.
Well,
that's debatable.
That is debatable. Before you dive into it, one little fun fact for you is Lost Ark is now the 3rd most popular game in Steam history, only behind PUBG and Counter-Strike.
And it's only been a week since we talked about it last time, but maintained like every day 1.1 or higher million concurrent players,
which is wild.
Which I think New World hit its peak there, but I think it died off.
Yeah,
after, within a week.
I mean, it's stabilized. It's stabilized now, but yeah, it only really hit that numbers during its peak first 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Lost Ark holds its momentum there. Which
I feel like it should, because it's free to play versus New World. You actually had to buy into it.
One of the big things I've said with it. Plus, everything I've seen in the game so far, from player interaction and the chat and everything. Not really any negative or much negative going on there.
I was about to say, the most negative I see is just the gold.
Oh, yeah.
Gold sellers, which is par for the course for these games like this.
Yeah. Somewhat going off of the word he kept using for
Forbidden West?
That's yeah, I forgot the name of it. Overwhelming a sense is kind of what I've been feeling a little bit. I've been feeling a little overwhelmed with because last week after we did last week's episode, I went home and hit 50 either that night or the next day, and then the game kind of just unlocks once you progress through the story to the point where you get to I think it's North Vern continent, and you get to basically the little hub town of Vern, whereas that's where all of your, or the main point where you get access to all of your in-game activities, different, like the Chaos Dungeons, Abyssal Dungeons, Guardian Raids, and all that. It's all in one spot, as well as on the other side of the town. There's all the places to upgrade your gear and all that. So it's a little overwhelming there, because you suddenly, when you hit 50, you, like, this giant list of alarms for every in-game event pops up. I mean, you can easily turn them all off, but suddenly you qualify to interact with a lot of these events that you couldn't really take part of before. But I've spent the day today pretty much just sailing around, doing island adventures, doing it, and then progressing through the story some. But I've been having a blast with it. I think last week I was saying it was. I think I fell upon like an 8, a high or hesitant 8 at the time. At this point, like twice the time I had in, not really looking at stopping right now. I'd say it's a strong 9 for me right now.
Strong 9, like that.
I was about to say, and I think that's what Keontae said at the time when he had like 50 hours or something in. I mean, me.
Yeah, I heard he was on a grind.
Yeah.
I heard that he was invested.
Yeah. Versus me, I mean, I went the opposite path. I still haven't hit 50 just because I've been going slow at it and playing Empires. I've gone the path of do the Adventure Tome while I level. So I'm 90%ing most of the Adventure Tomes because I need some songs or whatnot to finish them off. And collecting Makoko seeds. So I spend most of my time scouring the maps.
Yeah, he's doing all the collection events, and I'm just kind of going through it. I'm like, I'll come back to that at some point. I might do it.
I mean, if you want the friggin' Igna tokens, you are.
But yeah, I mean, when I say I might do it, I'll do it when I kind of need to. But yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, I'm still in the tier 1 in-game content, and I've hit the point in the story where I have to progress to. I think I have to progress to tier 2 to be able to progress the story.
So here's my question with that, because I've been seeing a bunch of videos. What is this tier thing? Because apparently there's some sort of block from tier 2 to tier 4.
Yeah, so the different tiers is when you first start it, you have tier 1 unlocked, and tier 1 to enter your tier 1 like Chaos Dungeon, which is go to bread and butter, just get it done and jump into it, get it done in 5 minutes. You get 2 of them a day. Basically, you spawn into a zone, and you have to kill enough enemies within the time limit to raise it to 100%. So it's just a zone. You kill them to like 19%, you can go to a new zone. Kill them to like 60%, go to the next one. And then sometimes you get a boss wave in between where the zone is just killing a boss. But from there, once you do those, you get the loot changes from having it'll be different. So instead of saying like level 42 gear, it'll just say tier 1. And then if you dismantle that material, you get some of the upgrade materials for it. And when you do the Chaos Dungeons or Guardian Raids, you get a lot of the upgrade materials. And then to advance your gear score any higher, you have to take those materials with the upgrade materials and go through the upgrade process for them, where it's called honing it, and your gear score goes up by like 20 every time you do it. And to progress from tier 1 to tier 2, it has like 5 little sub tiers in it, where you can do, it goes from like 250, I think it's 250, 340, or 250, 302, 340 or something like that. So it progressively gets higher, and then you get rarer and rarer loot from it, basically. So you go from the blue gear to purple gear to legendary gear.
Gotcha.
And then you just basically keep the honing process going as you do kind of your various in-game activities. And when you hit the gear score requirement, then you can go to tier 2. But it's, like I said, I'm in tier 1. I'm like halfway through tier 1 right now.
Yeah.
But I assume you kind of hit a block I assume from when you get to that point where you're in tier 3, you kind of you need to have not only gear with the stats that you need on it, but you also need like your engravings, all of your engravings set up properly, and like your gear and stats to actually start being rolled how you need it to.
Gotcha.
Because I went into it, and I mean, I've just got a mixed match of whatever I have right now in tier 1, and it's, I mean, blasting through it for the most part. Which Chaos Dungeons, I mean, they're no issue. I'm like mowing down everything in my path just to get them done daily to get all my rewards from it.
Mm-hmm.
Guardian raids are more fun. It's like a 20-minute Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter fight, where you basically just go to an island. It's like a little circle or something, different sections of it that you have to climb to or take a zip line to, and you have 20 minutes to kill the boss. You get three revives for your team. They're team wide, like total team revives. So it doesn't matter if you have one guy that uses all 3 of them. He can use all 3 of them, and then if you die, you're done.
Dang. Do you at least get rewards if they manage to succeed?
Yeah, if you go down and they still kill it, then after like the animation of the boss dying and that, it pops your character back up and you can collect your rewards. But yeah, so it's like that's what I've been doing. And then like I said, I spent most of the morning sailing around doing different island adventures, but I'm kind of like you. I'm stuck on needing different songs. Like I think I have a chain of 3 islands right now where I need one song to be able to complete one, and I need the one from that one to complete the next one, and then that one to complete the next one.
Well, my thing with songs is I know that I can't get any of them until I hit level 50. So I'm literally at like the end of like most of my adventure tomes and literally just need a single song to collect like 1 or 2 things, and then I'm good.
Yeah, where mine is like because I got to do the quest chains on the islands all the way until the final step of the last one. And it's like, play this song. And I go, I can't do that. So then I just go to my quest tracker and I'm like, uncheck that one so I don't see it anymore until I get the song, and then I'll come back. But yeah, I mean, I've been having a blast with it. The more I play it, the more fun I'm having. Trying to, it's like I'm less worried about like, because last week I was just wanting to hit 50 and get to some of the in-game stuff. Now I'm less worried about that. I'm like, I'm gonna kind of do my own thing. It's like I'll make sure to do my Guardian raids and my Chaos Dungeons and Abyss Dungeons or anything every day. I'll make sure to get those done, keep my stronghold going. But for the most part, I can sail around, do the island adventures I want to do like any of the world events that happen, but kind of more chill about it now. But now it's just more just looking for what I want to do rather than worrying about getting to the end game.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just like, and then I'm still progressing through the story. But I'm at the point where I have to hit a certain gear score requirement to go to the next zone because I'm locked out of it.
That sucks.
Is the story actually interesting though?
I have no idea.
I was about to say, I mean, from my understanding, it's somewhat interesting, but this is a classic MMO of...
Just play the game.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I watched the cutscenes through the tutorial, and then I watched the cutscenes where certain dungeon cutscenes and certain story-related cutscenes you can't skip.
Yeah.
Like story ones, it'll say can't skip story-related or something like that. And then some dungeon ones, if you try to skip them, it'll just say cannot skip newcomer in party.
Oh, okay.
So if it's a person's first time going through it, some you can't skip, but I don't know. Some of the little island adventures are I find more interesting than the main story stuff.
I was about to say, the main story is, from what I get, is fairly generic and time of evil, good, yada, yada, yada.
Gotcha.
Fun stuff.
Just play the game, basically.
Yeah.
Got it.
This is a game where I literally just turn my brain off and just go...
What do I have to do today?
Yeah, it's demons invading planet. You are chosen one. Collect arc, fight demon.
Okay, I was just curious.
Collect legendary artifacts
to be able to banish the demons.
Gotcha.
redoing the story that someone did hundreds of years ago.
You know what's funny, John, is when I first picked up Lost Ark, I forgot to mention it last week during the whole tutorial thing and everything, where you go through the island with that group and everything, and all I could think is something's sketchy about this priest.
Oh man, nothing wrong with the priest. He's your best friend. Or he wants to. He wants to be.
Who wants to slick his hair back?
Yeah, but yeah. Priest demon. It's like pretty much seen from 1,000 miles away the second you see the character, pretty much.
Yeah, and the fact that he's literally the only person in the tutorial who survives with you, and you're just like,
Yeah,
he's evil, right?
Yeah, he's the bad guy, right?
It's like the only surviving member of it with you, and then you separate, and he watches you walk away, and you go, "Oh yeah, evil man."
He literally doesn't even wait till you're fully gone. Like, literally, your character could turn around and see that he's become a demon.
Yeah. It's like he's 100 paces away. He's out of my screen.
It's like, well, time to go demon form.
Literally, what happens?
But yeah, so I mean, like I said, so far it's at this point the game's gonna just continue playing it and do the content that I have fun doing, and then I'm probably about to roll another character just to try a little different experience.
What's gonna be the next thing you try?
I keep saying Paladin, so probably Paladin.
Okay.
You gonna power pass it, or are you actually gonna grind it out again?
Probably power pass it. Probably power pass this one, and then depending on what I want to play after that, I might just grind it out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just mainly looking for. I figure Paladin might be fun because it's about as far away from what I'm currently playing as I can get as the Artillerist. Because Artillerist, I can stand back, cast everything off, and then don't really have to be close to anything if I don't want to be, unless I'm stepping forward to use the flamethrower. But other than that, I'm like I can be a screen away doing and still continue to do all my damage. Whereas Paladin, I'm like I'm gonna be up here helping.
Versus me, I play a scrapper. I cast fist. Literally, all the scrapper skills is just some variation of punching. I literally have a skill that makes earthquake because I punch the ground.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's so far the game has just gotten more fun for me. And yeah, if you haven't played it yet, I mean, game's free.
I mean, it's free to play.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Free to try or free to play. No need for any cash shop nonsense.
Did you ever buy that $11 thing?
No, I haven't ended up buying it. I don't know. I thought about it, but I haven't needed to yet, or haven't really felt the urge to.
I mean, you literally can and just get all the rewards at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean I could, but I also haven't needed. I haven't hardly even looked at the shop for the most part.
Fair enough.
That actually brings up a question because I was just chit-chatting with just a guy at work, whatever, and we mentioned Lost Ark, and he asked me, it's like how much does it feel like you have to pay to really do a lot of stuff in the game? And I was just like, I couldn't tell you, dude. I've only played like an hour or so.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you get that feeling?
None.
Don't.
Okay.
I mean, it's a completely free-to-play game. You can pay to win to help get your gear score up quickly, from my understanding, or the level quickly, but, I mean, it's a fairly easy free-to-play game. You literally don't have to put $1 in it.
Okay.
I mean, it's like I had the Founders Pack, so I got their paid, like, aura, like the crystalline aura that it is. I don't really know what all the benefits are. The main thing I know is I think it's a little more like natural recovery, and then you don't have to pay to fast travel.
Yeah, fast travel's cheaper. You unlock your pet inventory.
Which I've used a total of one time because my bag filled up.
Yeah. Yeah, more or less it's more or less just
It's
quality
like-
of life
yeah,
stuff.
It's like
Gotcha.
It's like
That's
the
good.
convenience fee. It's one of those things where it's like if you're gonna be playing it, people would look at it and be like, "Well, why not?"
Right.
But I mean, so far I haven't really seen any of it necessary.
That's good. That's good to hear.
But yeah, and I mean, it's outside of like the Guardian raid so far. It's kind of everything I've seen is gonna just go in. Doesn't doesn't really matter what you're playing, or you don't got to worry too much about anything, at least at the content that I'm at. Guardian raids, you still got to pay attention a little bit because they start, I mean, from the first one to the second one, like the first one that you encounter and then like the next level of the Guardian raid, it was already like a fairly stark contrast because the first like boss that you go against, it's like a big bear that just like charges forward or like slashes in front of him and stomps the ground. The next one, when he goes into angry mode, he does this giant cone ice roar that will hit you from really far out. Like jumps and hits a big cone out in front of him as well. That'll hurt you. It's giant AOE that's like almost feels undodgeable.
I got a question for you, John. Did you know that there's a counter system in the combat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the artillerist has a counter.
I mean, it's quite possible. It was just one of those random things I stumbled upon that apparently there's this system in the game where there's skills that have counter in it that say yes, and if you use that skill versus a boss's very particular skill, which usually has a blue aura, you'll actually stun them and stop their attack for like a moment.
It's especially great during Guardian raids because you'll see it start happening, and then like when someone does it, it'll stun the boss, and then you'll get a little notification in chat saying like whoever successfully countered the boss, and then you get a nice little DPS window.
Yeah, Scrapper I think has like 2 or 3 counters. I can't remember.
Yeah, I was looking through. I don't know if the artillerist actually has one. If he does, I'm not using it, or I'm not worried about it. Someone else will do it.
I'm just here to lay down flames, everybody. You can hit the counter.
Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, in all that, I've been playing with my buddy who's playing a gun lancer, and he's like, he's been learning his taunts and his like counters and everything. He's getting pretty good at it. So, I mean, his success ratio on it has skyrocketed since we started.
He's playing the Stand Behind Me class.
Yeah, but the funny thing is we were talking about like our next characters. I'm looking at Paladin and he's looking at like Gunslinger, and I'm like, okay, so we're just swapping roles basically.
Ideally. It almost sounds like back when you, Diaz, and me played Secret World.
Oh yeah.
We was fucking 3-man, 5-man dungeons.
Yeah. Refuse to go out and level anymore. We've entered the dungeon. We're staying here until we complete it.
That's determination.
We literally spent an entire night to get down a dungeon's mechanics, which we were barely high enough level for.
Mm. Yeah, we were barely high enough level for it to be tough for a 5-man.
And we did it 3-man.
We're like, you know what? We'll just stay here and do it. I was like, I'll just swap everything over to my. All I'm gonna do is sit here and spin and taunt as much as I possibly can.
Quite literally, we literally spent 8 hours. We did this on 2 different occasions too.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm putting on my most defensive taunt, like aggro based set that I have. It's like you're on healing, you're on DPS. We're gonna stay here until it's done.
We beat the dungeon.
I respect that.
We beat every single dungeon as a 3-man.
I respect that. That's determination.
It's one of those games with the Holy Trinity. If you get a good set, you're good.
Yeah. Which, like we said last week, this game doesn't have like the Holy Trinity. It's more of like you can go into dungeons and raids with whatever you want to.
You get some wild teams with matchmaking.
Oh yeah, when you just matchmake for something, you'll get in there, you'll get 2 assassins and a sorceress, and it's like, all right, here we go. And then occasionally you load in, and it's like you got gunslinger, bard, and gun lancer, and you're like, oh, we're gonna have fun now.
Yeah,
it's like this is gonna be easy. But yeah, I mean, I'm having, like I said multiple times, I'm having a blast. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon.
I was about to say, I'll probably keep playing here and there. I'm doing a slow level because I'm doing all the collectibles. Fuck the collectibles. I mean, I don't hate how many collectibles it is. I just dislike that this is a developer that took the time and go, we're gonna put one here. We're gonna put we're gonna put 3 behind this secretive wall. These 3 you can't get till you hit level 50. So fuck you. Like literally in the very first town you get, there's 9 seeds. 2 of them are behind a secret wall that you can apparently just walk through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember I don't remember which town it was in, but it's like there's just this. Well, they all basically have a palace, but just in one of the side rooms, there's a door on the side.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like normally you just walk in and you go, "There's nothing here," but there's a door there. You can just walk through it.
Oh yeah, no, like in one of the dungeons.
You can just walk through it and then just hold, like you start to see him, and if you hold your mouse over to the left and just start telling him to walk that way, he'll go up and down this secret path, go over, and then there's like I think 3 seeds over there.
Yeah.
And then I had to stop myself from looking for them after I found that, because I was like, oh, shit, I'm just gonna try to walk through every door that I see.
Yeah, because in the dungeons, all the paths look like natural scenery that you wouldn't. It was like, oh, it's just scenery. No, you can walk and access stuff through there. Like literally, in one of the dungeons, there's a whole wall that it's there. The image is there, but if you just walk through it, it just disappears.
Yeah, they really go all out with like hiding things.
I do feel you on the fuck the collectibles thing. That's how I feel with Horizon right now. It's just, all of the different like text files and data files that you can find and stuff. God, there's just so many.
Oh, yeah. He's trying to find all the Makoko seeds too.
Because I'm gonna get the flower ship.
There's a 1,209.
Oh, fuck that.
And that's
You're a brave man. I respect you.
That's just one of the collectibles.
Yeah, that's just one.
I respect you.
There's like 8 or 9 different collectibles.
Yeah, there's also world trees. Which world tree?
I haven't found any of those yet.
Well, no, you get to that point when you do like all the trade skills, like foraging and that. Those are as far as I can tell, random drops while you're doing it.
Cool. Yeah, there's world tree leaves. There's masterpieces. There's I said them early, but the legendary hero tokens. There's the Makoko seeds. There's giant's hearts.
Yeah, but there's a collectibles tab where there's just like 6 or 7 things up there. I don't remember the exact number.
I think it's 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's like there's a bunch of them up there. Oh yeah, and then there's also just different things that you can get for collecting them. Like there's the island tokens for completing an island, which some of the islands you just go to, you do a couple little quests on them, and then you get the island token. Some of them bosses spawn on the islands like on a timer. It's like, and you can get a notification for when the island's going to spawn, and then you go there and you just keep going back and fighting the boss whenever the island pops up, because it has a loot table on it, and the island token is on the loot table. So sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't.
This game was definitely made by a Korean developer.
Spent 20 minutes mining an egg. Wasn't worth it. At least now I know what to do when I get there. I'll be back later.
Well, we hit everything that was on the slate here today, so I feel like we can probably wrap things up now, because I'm getting kind of hungry. I could go for some food.
Okay.
What about you boys? What's for dinner tonight?
I don't know. I was sort of thinking Chinese again.
Chinese, good. I had that yesterday. What are you doing?
I got leftovers from last night.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to chat about before we wrap things up here? Am I good at the music? How you guys feeling?
I'm just going to keep saying it like every week or every other week. If you haven't played Vampire Survivors...
Yeah, shout it out. Shout it out.
Give it a shot. It's the best $3 you'll spend.
No, I don't think I got anything. I didn't mess with anything that we didn't talk about. Actually, no, I take that back. I did. I forgot about this. So, John, you remember how you mentioned that Taiko drum's coming to Switch?
Oh, God.
Oh.
So it's on Xbox Game Pass. And I picked it up. And it's just as what you would imagine. It's just a odd-ball rhythm game. I played Megalovania on it.
About to say, this man's going to come in here and be the drumming king next week.
Thing is, I, as far as I'm aware, I cannot find any like Taiko drum controller for it. It's literally just with a controller.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
I assume there is some Taiko drums controller somewhere out there. I just don't know if that ever made it to the West.
I don't know.
I don't think
I
it
would
did.
assume not.
I assume the game is much more entertaining if you're playing it over where the taiko drums exist, over in the east.
Yeah, because playing a rhythm game with a controller is just not fun.
It's weird.
I would imagine that'd be really weird.
I mean, for the most part, it wasn't actually that bad with how they have the controllers, with the 3 controller schemes they have, are actually fairly into it for how the game's supposed to be played. It's just
Not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. I should have bought those bongos.
Oh yeah, the Donkey Kong bongos. Shout out to this man just going on a retro hunt like daily.
It's not daily.
Almost daily.
It's weekly.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what
I go once, maybe twice a week at this point.
Hey, you've been getting some good shit though.
Yeah, I find some good finds.
Recently got the Pokemon Stadium 2 for $60. Shout out to that. Good find there. You picked up a GameCube for me. Shout out to that with F-Zero.
This guy, he apparently has a list and memorized all the GameCube games he needs, because I sent him a picture of, what was it? It was like, it was Pikmin 2, Wind Waker,
and Metroid Prime 2.
Metroid Prime 2. Yeah. And like, you could see like the bottom of the corner of F-Zero case, and he goes, "Is that F-Zero?" And I go, "What the hell?"
See, the other thing that's funny about this is this man has been giving you such shit.
And as soon as I find something he wants,
going on a retro hunt and spending and like buying all this shit, and then it's like, oh wow, you're there anyway.
Yeah, basically.
Can you grab
that's what it was.
Because he's too much of a lazy ass to go up there himself.
That's essentially what it was. Because like he was there, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? Can you grab that for me, please?
Which, notice how he hasn't given me shit all episode about Metroid.
Yeah, you mention it, normally he's immediately there.
Look, I was going to let it slide, okay, because he helped me out. My GameCube hasn't worked for a while, so I needed a new GameCube, and F-Zero. That's a rare find. I don't remember the last time I saw an F-Zero GX. Like, I really don't. It's been years since I've seen one in a game exchange.
I think I saw one at a pawn shop once.
Okay. All right. And the fact that it was complete in box too, in like phenomenal condition.
Oh yeah, no, it was in real good condition.
It was in great condition. So had to grab it. Had to grab it. So anyway, I'll hit the music. We can go ahead and get ourselves out of here. Boys, last thoughts?
Well, if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help us out. If you're all watching this on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe to help us keep growing on YouTube and all that fun stuff. And if you actually want to know when anything gets posted up, whether it be this show, AniMan Plus whenever it comes back, Terrible Football Show, if we do a talk about movies and stuff again here soon, hit that bell and it'll let you know. And also don't forget about the website, SparkE3.com, where you can be a member for $5, or you can just be free. It doesn't matter. It helps us out regardless on the website. You can hit us up there as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see you next week for another weekly segment of Lost Ark.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's just gonna have its own weekly slot from now on. But yeah, do everything that they said and more. We definitely appreciate that. And of course, go check out the merch store, SparkE3Shop.com. The day this episode goes up on the 22nd, we will have a promo code ATFS for 25% off running until March 5th to celebrate the kickoff for season 2 of A Terrible Football Show, which will come out on the 3rd with our new logo, new branding, and everything that I will have revealed on the 22nd. Check out the other shows and everything. Follow us on socials. And of course, if you could, go join our Discord. We'd appreciate that. The invite link is down in the description below. And I will be back next week. Should be back next week. I may have stuff I have to do, but we'll see.
Just let us know. You're making this harder.
I know. These boys can handle it. These boys have been absolutely phenomenal. I love these guys to absolute death. They did great the last 2 weeks without me. But I should be back next week to chat about whatever we're going to chat about, which probably will definitely not be Elden Ring, because none of us give a shit about that, even though the world is set. The world is unbelievably hyped for it.
I mean, I can hit up Keontae. He's apparently super hyped for it.
That's true. That's the only person that we've personally met that's actually hyped for this game, which is wild because of the insane amount of hype around the world. But
I mean, the people I play with, we're just hyped about Rocket League.
That's true. Anyway, thanks for making it all the way in. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.